Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0, nada, zip, nothing, finito for the season. Year of the underdog, James. I'm telling you.
Is that the narrative we're running?
Newcastle, Bologna, Palace, potentially PSV tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited to not enjoy this Palace win as much.
I'm really enjoying the
But
Palace.
let's focus. Do you know what? I'm happy for Palace. Congrats, Palace.
Congratulations.
Eze, what a moment. That was.
Come to Tottenham, come.
Do you know what?
Yalla.
Look, Seamus coming from an Arsenal fan, I appreciate. Maybe even more Seamus coming from a Tottenham fan. But Palace deserve that this season.
100%.
And City
so
for the
well.
campaign they've had and all success, and we can wax lyrical about the years and years of history and what they've done. But that was really fitting. It's not just because the underdog won. I thought on the day Palace were the better team.
You could see they were so well drilled.
Yeah.
So good. And like just to compare it, because last week obviously they played Spurs. So watching that, I mean, they could have honestly beat Tottenham 10-0 last week. And it was such an open game, might as well just not have the players there. But you can see when they're on the counter how good they are. You can see that Oliver Glasner is such a good coach. Obviously won a cup with Eintracht Frankfurt before.
Yeah.
I mean, whether or not he'll be there next season is another question though. Not to rain on your parade, Palace.
Yeah, well, that's
Don't
the
wanna
thing.
do
I
that.
don't even want to
don't wanna do
explore.
that.
So
Don't
he's
wanna
been
do
linked
that.
with other clubs. I mean, look,
Yeah,
let's
let's
say this.
With a move to Leipzig, actually. Is it Leipzig?
Do
Maybe
you know,
Leipzig.
it's also a good lesson for, you get a lot of clubs that, and I mean this in the most respectful way, that maybe around mid-table, who are doing quite well, but the football's not quite there, and then as outsiders you look at them and go, well, you should be more grateful. You know, you could be in a relegation battle, you know, you're lucky you're staying independent, and they go, well, no, we want more, we want to be inspired, and Hodgson moved on, and Glasner came in, and the football got better. Suddenly you've got these wing-backs charging up the pitch, you've got Eze and Sarr in the pockets, let's not forget, we've got Alvalise.
And also you've got Adam Morton.
What a player.
What a
What a
player.
player. What a
What
player.
a
But
player.
Mateta too, I mean the hold up play for that goal. And then what you realise is that sure, you might have moments where you make that change and the club doesn't progress. But sometimes it's worth rolling the dice because not only might you see a brand of football that fits more with what you want to see as a fan, but you can have moments like this where actually that football takes you to going toe-to-toe Man City. And we tend to look at possession stats as did they go toe-to-toe? That game, they attacked at every moment they could. They knew they had to force City away from goal as much as they could. But then when they had their moments, led by Mateta and Eze, of course, you know, they have those moments. So yeah, I mean, a big well done to Palace, and they thoroughly deserved it.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And I think also with Palace, like I guess it's like a laugh and a joke that they always tend to finish, you know, somewhere between
12th.
10th and 13th, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
kind of where they always are. But if you have a look at like the teams that are in and around them that are kind of pushing for like European spots, like the Bournemouths or the Brentfords or the Fulhams, you know, if Palace can keep their players, like we spoke about, they've already lost, you know,
Elise, for example. Yeah,
or,
Zaha.
you
over the
know,
years,
exactly. Zaha, you know, the experience of him. And Palace was kind of like a club, again, no disrespect, but it was a kind of bit of a club where like players who wanted to stay in London, like, would kind of just go there. Like, and you saw that over time, that players that wanted to be in London, or it was just a place that, okay, well, you know, there's not much expectation, but to go and win an FA Cup and have the season that they've had, even though they're still finishing in around those spots, it's an unbelievable season. And like, that was their first major trophy ever. And that performance today, them doing that's the best day of their lives.
They recruit brilliantly. I mean, you know, Eze's the player we're talking about now, but Elise's been and gone. Zaha was before that. I think at one point they had all three at the club at the same time. You look at Adam Morton, who's doing great in the Championship. In fact, there's a trend. I think they've signed a guy called Essa, who's coming from the Championship. But then that's just kind of part of what they do.
And also, don't forget, sorry to interrupt you, but Dean Henderson, ridiculously good performance.
We've got to talk about that decision though in a sec.
Yeah, we will. But that's an ex-United player right there. You know, arguably better than Onana and Bayindir. You have a look at their backline as well. You have a look at someone like Mark Gahey, who nearly went to Newcastle in the summer.
Former Chelsea.
Brilliant player. Even Lacroix's been really good this season as well. You know, Munoz, like, they've got good players everywhere, haven't they? It's just like whether or not they can push on and do something again next season and build on this FA Cup win.
There are rumours about it. The thing is, I don't even want to talk about it because
we don't want to ruin the day.
Well, because do you know what? We're not going to talk about it. Let's focus on Palace. They can kick on. You know, they've got a very good manager. And you know, when you're established in the Premier League, and I mean established, because since they've come up, over 10 years ago, there's maybe one or two seasons where I thought, are they in trouble here? But they've kind of always stayed away from it.
That was more kind of under Hodgson, wasn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, who was it came in?
When they had Patrick Vieira.
Allardyce had to come in at one
They
point.
had that really good season under Vieira and made a lot of progress, and then kind of second season that dropped off massively.
So I like Palace. I'm so happy for him. We're here in London. We've enjoyed the game, and I'm sure we're going to see lots of Palace shirts out, and that they deserve it. It really is. I think we were watching it going, this is why football could be so special.
Yeah.
Because it can take, you get your tactics right for 90 minutes, you run a bit harder than the other team, and then you provide a moment of quality and you can win a game. And let's not forget, it was 3-0 only, 3-4 weeks ago against Villa.
Yeah.
It 1-0.
Everyone wrote them off in that as well.
Yeah,
And Villa was so cocky in it.
They
So
were
cocky in that
the
approach.
worst, in inverted commas, worst team of the four, with Villa, Forest and City going into the semi-finals. But it just goes to show what football can be about. They've gone and won it 4-0 across 2 games.
You know how we talk about magic of the FA Cup?
Yeah.
This is exactly the magic of the FA Cup. Okay, it might not be like a minnow side or someone that's from the lower leagues, but this is still a huge win. And even though people say, well, City aren't at their best this season, it doesn't matter. They had enough star quality, enough players out there that can do something, change the game. They do every single thing at Palace, and they didn't waver in it. So it's actually probably more for the fact you've got to commend Palace for having such a good game plan and playing so well, and also keeping their concentration for the 490 and not making a mistake and being such a unit. And even substitutes that came on still had great impact.
It wasn't long ago that Palace were on a weird mini bad run of 5-0 at Newcastle and 5-2 at City.
Yeah.
I think they might have been 2-0 up in that game, I can't remember. And then that can get in your head, this team have just slapped us 5-2. But, I think Glasner had a great quote, I think, after that game, where he said something to Pep. It was before the semi-final. He's like, if we meet in the final, I've learnt from what you've done or something. And
Good management.
Yeah, good management. There we
mate.
go. On City quickly. Look, I think they can consider themselves very unlucky that Henderson wasn't sent off. For me, that is a stonewall red card
He
as I've ever seen.
He said in his post-match that he carried it out, and he said he never felt he was in danger of getting a red or getting sent off. Obviously, from the stills, it looks clear as day that it would be a red.
Also, he stayed on the pitch, so he's thinking, well, they've looked at it, so I must have got it
Who
right.
cares, yeah.
But I mean, it's as bad as it gets for the PG. I've got to be honest. It's a shocking decision, and that changed the game. Of course, Marmoush missed a pen. Don't really know why Haaland didn't take it, but cool. They went with Marmoush. And ultimately, outside of that, look, there were moments. Doku obviously forced a good save, and there were moments he thought De Bruyne connected it quite well, but just went wide. But they're going to have moments. I mean, no one's expecting City to never have a moment across 90 minutes. The point is, can you limit them, and can your players at that last line defence, your goalkeeper, your defenders making blocks, can they get you over the line?
Do you think that we're seeing the end of Pep's kind of reign and City's kind of dominance?
I think the word there's dominant, not reign. I think he will still. Let's put it this way: if Pep's here for the next 5 years, I still think he picks up maybe 3 league titles.
Okay.
My thing is that
Obviously, they lost that same final last year.
it's true to a United side that they really shouldn't have lost to, but we appreciate the players United have and what can happen. I think I'd put it this way: I think while City will continue to pick up trophies along the way, they've just got to a 3rd FA Cup final in 3 years. I think the word dominance, the 95, 96, 97 points they were regularly getting to, I know they've maybe done it for a while, but even so, when they beat us to the title 2 years ago, they got to 89, dropping points in the final game, so they'd won it so easily.
Yeah.
They can kind of stroll there. I don't know. I still worry about them. They're going to recruit. They've shown in January they're going to recruit. Now they're in for Reinders and Wirtz, all these players. So I wouldn't write them off. De Bruyne goes, but I think they need to start refreshing.
Just want to ask you one last final question. Obviously today we've seen Eddie Nketiah and Matt Turner win a trophy. Do you feel
I came
that
for a nice Saturday in the sun.
You can support them in the
I
decision
came
that
for a
they
good
had
day
to
out.
leave Arsenal so they can go and win
I wasn't
trophy.
even scheduled for content. I just came
Did
to
they have
have
to
a
leave? Did
drink.
they have to leave Arsenal so they can win trophies?
I just. Can we talk about what happens to Postecoglou and your club
we'll be
when
doing
you finish
lots of-
17th
excuse me, we've got to wrap.
and you don't win the what?
Sack, mate, sack.
Thing is, I think they might win it, but let's not.
Well,
Anyway,
so you're
right.
the underdog. You're the underdog. Don't worry, we'll be talking about Spurs. We've got a lot of content to go through in the next couple of days.
I won't be on anyway.
Do not worry. But Unreal for Crystal Palace.
Well done,
Congratulations.
Crystal Palace. Congrats.
And
Seriously.
just enjoy yourself.
As they come to Arsenal, I have to
No,
ruin the video with that.
don't
I have to
worry
ruin
about
that, please.
Come to
We need
Spurs,
you,
'cause
please.
you were going to come last
Please.
summer. So
Well done,
let's
Palace.
make
Deserved
that
it.
happen.
Enjoy.
Let's make that happen. Okay, bye.